What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Rome back with another video. If you clicked on this video, you know why you're here. On the road to 25k subs by New Year's. Let's get it. And if you like the music that you hear, click the link. It's in the description. Alright, so Jordan Peterson cooking effing. And y'all know I rock with Jordan Peterson heavy. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it.
Hi Jordan, my question is, what is the antidote towards toxic masculinity?
Well, the antidote is responsible masculinity. And what does responsible mean? It means, well, if you're responsible, then you're trying to do what's honest first. So you're careful with your speech and your actions. You're careful with your speech in that you don't say things that you know to be false. And you're careful in your actions so that you don't have to lie about what you do. That's a good start. Do you want to repeat that?
I'm sorry. I said that didn't cover really toxic masculinity, right? Because
yes, it's dealing with the principle of reciprocity.
No, you just said that you have to be honest and responsible as a man, right?
Well, put it this way. When I'm giving the spoon back to my granddaughter, I'm not engaging in toxic masculinity. And that was the point that I was trying to make. What precisely, since we're going to pursue this, what precisely is toxic masculinity, as opposed to, say, toxic femininity or toxic humanity? What exactly are you asking me about?
Well, I really want to know what you like, how you would describe toxic masculinity. Because
no, I want you to define what toxic masculinity constitutes. Since we're going to define things so carefully, let's do it.
Well.
Okay, so before we move on, let me point something out. You know, that I was willing to undertake this line of discussion, allowing for the possibility that the category of toxic masculinity had some content, right? But if we're going to pursue that line of reasoning and quibble about the answer, then we're certainly going to quibble about the definition that's embedded in the question. And so part of what's happened in our discourse is that we're required ethically to assume a priori, merely out of politeness, that the utterance toxic masculinity actually constitutes a meaningful phrase. And if you push it, you find very rapidly that it doesn't, because it's very, very, very difficult to define. And definitions actually matter. And so if it's a matter of transgressing against the boundaries of gender-appropriate behavior, well, first of all, that indicates that there's something universal and normative about gender-appropriate behavior, which is something that people who push the idea of toxic masculinity generally tend not to presume. And second, it's just as likely to happen among women as among men, in which case it's not toxic masculinity. So maybe on to the next question.
Okay.
Finish her. Fatality.
Cooking with fish grease. Oh yeah, and I got another clip for y'all. He cooked another female too, man. It's funny, bro, because you see women scream oppression, wage gap myth. Like, it's so many things that you see women to this day still complaining about and fighting for. And it's like, do these women live under a rock? I'm like, do y'all not realize that y'all have more rights than men now? Do y'all realize that there are more scholarships given out to women than men now? Why? Because y'all been crying for so long that men have had an advantage over y'all, that men said, okay, here you go. And it's still not enough.
You can't make this shit up.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
And then y'all wonder why the term women can never be satisfied, why that's even a thing. Or better yet, why the husband's store story is a thing. Yeah, I'm like, hey, and if y'all don't know about the husband store story, just ask around. It's funny. Moving on to the next clip.
In this tyrannical patriarchy, of course, who's at the top? Men.
Some men.
White men.
Well, that's another thing. It's
Anglo-Saxon men.
Well, first of all, it depends on which element of the hierarchy you look at. And second of all, it's not men. Okay? It's a tiny percentage men, and that's not the same as men. Because most men aren't at the top. In fact, if you look at people who are truly at the bottom, most of them are men. So,
hey, before we continue, I'm gonna let it play all the way through. I just want to apologize for the video quality. This is TikTok, so whoever posted this on their page, this is what I did what I can do, fellas. Let's keep it moving.
So it's a small proportion of men. And then it's a very arbitrary slice. It's like, okay, so you're saying, well, what are we saying exactly? There's a disproportionate number of white Anglo-Saxon men who are billionaires. Could easily be. What does that have to do with men exactly? Why is that a male thing? It's not like all these men are like that. They're not like that. It's a tiny proportion of people who are like that, and they do happen to mostly be men. But that doesn't indicate some fundamental inadequacy in the entire social structure. I mean, 99% of bricklayers are men. Is that a problem? Well, nobody ever points it out. Like, all you have to do is go on the U.S. Department of Labor website, and you can look at occupation ranked by gender. There's about 50 occupations that are 95% men and over. You don't ever hear a word about them. Well, why? Because they're dusty, grueling, difficult, trade-related, intensely laborious outside jobs. Well, that's why. So, and why aren't we struggling for equality, gender equality among bricklayers? By force, let's say. From here on in, it's by fiat, man. 50% of women, they want to be nurses. No damn way. So off to the brickworks with you.
Flawless victory. Outstanding.
Jordan Peterson is a treasure, bro. Now, I know there may be people out there that feel indifferent about him. Whatever the case may be, that's fine. But from everything that I've seen on YouTube, especially since discovering the RP, Jordan Peterson is by far one of the brighter minds that I've ever come across in this space. It's one of the reasons why I was so hurt when I heard of Kevin Samuels passing, because can you imagine a Kevin Samuels and Jordan Peterson collaboration? Bruh. Just imagine the conversations and ideas that those minds could have bounced off of each other. I want to see what the people in the comments had to say. Look, thank God for Jordan Peterson. Say he used the forbidden power of common sense. Said everybody's gangster until Jordan mentions the bricklayer's legend. Right. I'm like, see, that's my thing, man. Like I said, women want to scream oppression, wage gap, and all of these men at the top. Yeah, that's because the men that are in the top are at positions that women don't really want to go through the trouble of getting to.
You stupid.
And like he said, ain't none of y'all complaining about all these top earners that are doing these really grueling jobs that'll take a very, very high physical toll on your body. You know what I mean? I don't see women rushing to become coal miners. I don't see women rushing to become crane operators. Like, I'm just saying, like, it makes perfect sense. Say logic and facts always wins. He speaks and she learns. See, I would love to be able to articulate myself like Mr. Peterson can. I know that's right, man. For real. They said if Jordan Peterson was in Mortal Kombat, the bricklayers would be his finishing move.
Finish her. Fatality.
Look, thank Jesus Jordan Peterson is alive. I'm like, yeah, because y'all know he had got sick, I think about a year or two ago. The girl asking, it's sarcastic, she's a politician in Spain that spreads Jordan's view. Wow, that's crazy, because I literally just mentioned this in that 50-50 video the other day, y'all. Check this comment out. Facts. You change the oil and tires, mow the lawn and rake the leaves, chop the wood and reshingle the roof. I'll gladly trade jobs. See what I mean? Women only want to be at the top where it doesn't require any real physical toll on them. And even those positions take a lot of time. You don't get a lot of free time. Gonna be putting in a lot of hours. So women don't really want to do that either. It's like the problem that we have in the West is women have been so brainwashed to think that they can be like men that they don't even realize their own limitations. As men, we have our limitations too. Like I say on this channel all the time, we're better together. There are strengths that women have that men don't, and vice versa. But for some reason, we live in a world in the West where that just seems to be ignored and thrown out the window. And we need to get that back. Like, you be amazed, man. You just stick to the basics. Something as simple as gender and gender roles will make a life a lot easier and make relationships a lot easier. Just interactions between both genders, period. I like to know what y'all think about this, man. I'm a huge George Peterson fan. I don't know how y'all are about him, but yo, much respect, man. And I don't think I'll ever. I don't think I'll ever get a chance to interview him or anything. But I would love to get a chance to at least meet him, shake his hand, man, and just thank him for what he does, man. Cause we need more men like him. If you're new to the platform, please subscribe. OGs, I appreciate the love and support. Make sure y'all hit that bell notification. That way y'all know what I'm uploading. And hit the like button because it helps with the algorithm. It helps me reach a broader audience. Until the next video, y'all. Deuces.